Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches: Washington Wizards vs Cleveland Cavaliers, Philadelphia 76ers vs Orlando Magic, Detroit Pistons vs Denver Nuggets, and Oklahoma City Thunder vs Utah Jazz, which are happening on Friday, May 14, 2021, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes. Let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. And if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out my Patreon in the link down below. My new Patreon is a way for me to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 270 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours and hours of your time searching the internet for some fake betting predictions and losing your money because of it. Join High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks and advices instantly. Now I'm going to start off by talking about Washington Wizards vs Cleveland Cavaliers match. The Cavaliers enter this contest fresh off of a huge win over the Boston Celtics, in which they were able to halt an 11-game losing skid. After the team went down by 3 points to begin the fourth period, they outscored the Celtics 35-25 in the final period to win only their 22nd victory of the season. Colin Sexton went 13-16 from the free throw line, along with 7-15 from the floor to post 28 along with 8 assists, while Kevin Love, who has struggled since returning to the lineup, had his best outing of the season, racking up 30 points while grabbing 14 rebounds, his third double-digit rebounding performance in his last 5 games. The defense held the short-handed Celtics to well under 40% shooting on the night, while the Cavaliers heavily out-rebounded the road team by a 55-46 margin. Cleveland was able to cover as 6-point dogs in the contest, yet are just 1-8-1 ATS in their last 10 games. The Wizards have taken a huge step back of late as they enter this contest losers of 3 straight games after falling in a 2-game road series versus the Atlanta Hawks. Washington went up by 8 points after 3 periods, but was outscored 37-25 in the final period to pick up their 38th defeat of the year. The team shot 45% in the contest, with Russell Westbrook leading the way with 34 points and 15 assists on 12-28 shooting, 4-9 3 FA, while Rui Hachimura chipped in 11 on 5-11 FG. Bradley Beal did not suit up for the contest and will likely be out for this matchup as well due to a hamstring injury. Nonetheless, Washington is 7-1 in their last 8 home games, in addition to going 6-2 against the number during this time. The Wizards are 7-1-1 ATS in their last 9 games. My betting advice for that game is to pick Cleveland Cavaliers plus 7.5. Orlando was on the road to face Atlanta in a Southeast Division tilt Thursday night in the first half of a back-to-back set. The Magic lost 114-102 on the road to Milwaukee in their previous game Tuesday night. Philadelphia was on the road as they traveled to face the Heat Thursday night in the front half of a back-to-back situation. The 76ers were dropped 103-94 on the road by Indiana in their previous game Tuesday night. In the all-time regular season series, the Magic holds a 79-40 edge between the teams, but the 76ers have taken 2 straight. Orlando was on the road against Atlanta in their previous contest Thursday night in the front half of a back-to-back set. The Magic have been eliminated from playoff contention, one of 4 teams from the Eastern Conference to be taken out of the picture entering Thursday's action. Orlando is 6-7 in the second game of back-to-back situations this season. They average 107.4 points per game while allowing 113.6 points a night in those situations. The Magic are 10-23 on the road this season with a -8.7 PPG scoring differential, 102.6 PPG for, 111.3 PPG against, on the year. Orlando is 13-26 against Eastern Conference teams with a -6.8 PPG scoring margin, 105.5 PPG for, 112.3 PPG against, this season. Philadelphia saw their 8-game win streak snapped as they were dropped by Indiana on the road in their most recent contest. The 76ers entered Thursday with a 1.5-game lead over the Nets for the top spot in the Atlantic Division standings. In the Eastern Conference playoff picture, the team was first, 1.5 games up on Brooklyn and 3 games ahead of third-place Milwaukee. Philadelphia is 7-6 in the second game of back-to-back situations this season. In those games, the 76ers put up an average of 111.5 points per game while allowing 111.2 points a night. The 76ers are 27-7 at home with a plus 8.4 PPG scoring margin, 117 PPG for, 108.6 PPG against, this season. Philadelphia is 29-10. The Magic are 29th in the league in scoring offense with 104.1 points per game so far this season. Orlando is 7th in the league in rebounding with 45.4 boards per contest and 28th with 21.8 assists per game this season. The Magic are 20th in the league in scoring defense as they allow 112.9 points per contest. After a series of trades, Terrence Ross is the team's leading scorer still with the team as he puts up 15.6 points a night. Wendell Carter Jr., 11.4 points, 8.2 rebounds. Markelle Fultz, 12.9 points, 5.4 assists. Cole Anthony, 12.4 points, 4.6 rebounds, 4.1 assists. RJ Hampton, 10.8 points, 4.6 boards, and Dwayne Bacon, 11.2 points are looked at for scoring options this season. Michael Carter-Williams, Otto Porter Jr., Gary Harris, 10.2 points, James Ennis 3, Mo Bamba and Chuma Okeke are other rotation pieces for the Magic and coach Steve Clifford. My betting advice for that game is to pick Philadelphia 76ers. The Nuggets have won 7 of their last 10 games, and they managed to secure at least the 4th seed in the West with a win over Charlotte on Tuesday. They are currently 1 game behind the Los Angeles Clippers in the standings, and with 2 games left on their schedule, they still have a chance to claim the 3rd seed in the conference. The Pistons didn't play well this season, but they would like to close the year out on a positive note. They lost their last 3 games and will try to put an end to the losing streak with a win over the Nuggets, which will give them a split of the season series. While that bodes well for the future, as does the contract extension for Casey through the 2023-24 season, the fact is that there are a lot of growing pains at this point. We saw Detroit turn the ball over 28 times while mustering only 100 points in a 19-point loss to a Minnesota team that has been allergic to defense all season. Denver is playing the second game of a back-to-back and their 3rd game in 4 nights. The fact remains that the Nuggets have plenty to play for in regards to locking up home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs. My first betting advice for that game is to pick Denver Nuggets minus 8.5. The Denver Nuggets are averaging 115.2 points on 48.6% shooting and allowing 110.2 points on 46.9% shooting. Nikola Jokic is averaging 26.5 points and 10.8 rebounds, while Michael Porter Jr. is averaging 19.4 points and 1.1 assists. Will Barton is the 3rd double-digit scorer and Aaron Gordon is grabbing 4.9 rebounds. The Denver Nuggets are shooting 37.8% from beyond the arc and 80.1% from the free throw line. The Denver Nuggets are allowing 36.5% shooting from deep and are grabbing 44.4 rebounds per game. For the year, the Pistons are 27th in the league in scoring offense as they average 106.8 points per game. Detroit is 23rd in rebounding as they pull down 42.9 boards a night and 18th in assists by dishing out 24.2 dimes a contest. The Pistons are 10th in the league in scoring defense as they give up an average of 110.9 points a night. Jeremy Grant puts up a team-leading 22.5 points plus 4.6 rebounds per night on the season. Josh Jackson, 13.4 points, 4 rebounds. Mason Plumlee, 10.4 points, 9.3 boards, 3.6 assists, have been solid contributors offensively on the year. Dennis Smith Jr., Wayne Ellington, 9.6 points, Corey Joseph, Rodney McGruder, Killian Hayes, Saben Lee, Jalil Okafor, Sekou Doumbouya, Amidou Diallo, 11.4 points, 5.1 boards, and Sadiq Bey, 12.1 points, are also looked at to contribute for coach Dwayne Casey. Detroit is 23rd in field goal percentage as they sink 45.2% of their shots from the floor this season. The Pistons are 22nd in the league by knocking down an average of 11.6 three-pointers a night, while they are 21st in the league by shooting 35.5% from beyond the arc this season. My second betting advice for that game is to pick under 217.5. The Oklahoma City Thunder have been in free fall the second half of the season. They have lost 22 of their last 23 games and have seen their record drop to 21-49. So if you're doing the math, they were 20-27 before hitting the skids. Around that point they decided to go young, aka tank, and here they are with one of the worst records in the NBA. The Thunder have lost 8 straight games and are coming off a 122-106 loss to the Sacramento Kings. The Thunder were led by Kenrich Williams, who had 20 points. Darius Bazley added 18 points while Svi Mykhailiuk tossed in 14 points. Moses Brown had 10 points and 13 rebounds. Lu Dort, Ty Jerome, and Theo Maledon are all questionable. The Utah Jazz can clinch the top seed and home court advantage throughout the playoffs with a win on Friday over the Thunder. It's inevitable as they are 50-20 and hold a 1.5 game lead over the Phoenix Suns with 2 games left. The Jazz have lost 2 straight, but at this point, they are just getting rested and healthy for the playoffs. The Jazz are coming off a 105-98 loss to the Trail Blazers on Wednesday. The Jazz got a big game out of Jordan Clarkson, who poured in 29 points. Rudy Gobert added 15 points and 20 rebounds. Joe Ingles added 14 points while Bojan Bogdanovic chipped in with 12 points. Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley remain out and likely won't be back until the playoffs start. The Thunder have lost 22 of their last 23 games, with their lone win coming against the Celtics in Boston. The Jazz are going to win this game, there's no question about that. They can clinch the top seed with a win, which they will, so they can rest their players for the playoffs. But can they cover the spread? The Thunder have not been good against the spread, as they are 2-8 in their last 10 home games against the spread. The Thunder are just going through the motions at this point, waiting for the season to end so they can start rebuilding through the draft. My first betting advice for that game is to pick Utah. The Utah Jazz are averaging 116.5 points on 46.9% shooting and allowing 107.5 points on 44.7% shooting. Donovan Mitchell is averaging 26.4 points and 5.2 assists, while Jordan Clarkson is averaging 18.2 points and 2.5 assists. Bojan Bogdanovic is the third double-digit scorer, and Mike Conley is dishing 6 assists. The Utah Jazz are shooting 38.9% from beyond the arc and 79.9% from the free throw line. The Utah Jazz are allowing 34.2% shooting from deep and are grabbing 48.2 rebounds per game. The Oklahoma City Thunder are averaging 105 points on 44% shooting and allowing 115.8 points on 47.4% shooting. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is averaging 23.7 points and 4.7 rebounds, while Luguentz Dort is averaging 14 points and 3.6 rebounds. My second betting advice for that game is to pick over 221.5. Good luck to all of you. That's it for this video. Stay tuned and stay safe for the next betting tips and advice.